Clicks has come under fire for an advert seen as prejudiced against black natural hair. On its website, the company published an image of black hair labelled as dry and damaged. While an example of white hair was described as normal, the juxtaposed illustrations have sparked widespread outrage on social media, with the company accused of being racist. The EFF, in reference to its campaign against retailer H&M, said Clicks was applying for consequences. So Clicks was quick to apologize, saying it had removed the images, and the company was a strong advocate of natural hair. The company has declined an on-camera interview. But let's go here now. On the line with us now, Ntombenhle Kwatwane, who is the owner of a natural hair range sold at Clicks, and she joins me now. A very good evening to you, Ntombenhle. Thanks indeed for your time. So you've had your natural hair care range sold at Clicks since 2016, I understand. Let me first get your reaction to this particular debacle.
When I first saw the emails and the tweets circulating, my first reaction was anger, devastation, and I cried. And then I was confused because this is not the Clicks I know that I've been dealing with for the past 4 years. So it was very, very confusing to me.
Yeah, and I understand you wanted to remove your hair care range from Clicks shelves after the uproar started.
So yeah, I got quite a high number of DMs from customers demanding that we stop supplying Clicks and that we have our products rather available in other retailers. And we discussed it as management, and I discussed it with Clicks themselves because they were very quick to call me. And it's not something we feel will make a difference or make an impact on ending racism in the country.
And what was Clicks' response?
Clicks, I got a call from management, and we've been having a very good relationship with Clicks for 4 years. They've supported us so much as a brand. They have the biggest natural hair category in the country. They have events quite often. They're probably the only retailer that has events on natural hair, educating people about how to care for their natural hair. They go out of their way to bring in all kinds of ranges from all over the world to give South African customers a range in terms of different types of products they can choose from. So they were also shocked because this is something that the commercial side of people of Clicks doesn't deal with. It's a marketing boo-boo that happened here. So they were also trying to get to the bottom of it. Yeah. And it turns out that it was actually third-party content that they were flighting on behalf of another customer of theirs. So it wasn't their content that they generated or created, but the fact that it went on is unacceptable. For me, there's just nothing acceptable about the whole thing. It can't happen today in 2020. Such things can't happen. They shouldn't happen.
So are you satisfied with their response? Will you be keeping your product range at Clicks?
So, the first thing they asked me is, what can we do? What can we do better? What can we do differently? You're speaking of a retailer that knows that more than 60% of their customers are black females. And so they need to do better. We need to feel better represented. So they've asked me for proposal in terms of solutions, whether we're talking about getting more South African-owned, black female-owned natural hair products on shelves. That's something they can look at. We're looking at how they can, make us feel more represented in terms of their own structures, because clearly the reason why something like this will happen is because in their marketing department there is no black person. So they need to look at things like that. But the solutions and the proposals are things that we're still going to propose to them. They already planned this, a Clicks Calls event in November, which is an event that all women in the natural category really look forward to. So I hope that they do something even bigger. I think management should come out and say something. This is a very damaging thing to happen. It's something that, as a black woman, why must I always be wearing some form of armor because I'll be attacked? I shouldn't be attacked at the store that I go to buy my hair products at. So I really hope that management comes out and does something and says something. and really gives back to the community that really does support them. We support them across all categories, not just natural hair. We are more than 60% of their customer.
Yeah. And Ntombendle, you raise a point there about perhaps there not being any black person within the marketing team. I mean, this is not the first time that natural hair or black hair is being insulted or policed. I mean, as someone who sells natural hair care products, do you see some of these prejudices in, I guess, in some of these stores or within this particular space where you operate?
Griselda, you look at the space. Tell me how many black women, it's a personal care category that we buy and we keep a lot of the businesses alive, whether you're talking about the Unilever brands, the L'Oreal brands. How many of the products on shelves in any retailer owned by black females, not because black females don't want to get into those kind of categories or businesses, but it's just difficult, right? And definitely this thing would not have happened if there was a black female sitting in front of the computer before they press go live type of a thing. We know that in corporate South Africa, there is a very little representation specifically of black females. Black women are the least represented in management in any aspect except for the bottom part of corporate South Africa. So they need to do better, because if your majority retail customer is a black female, then we need to be represented in all ways and all structures in your company.
And do you get to see, I mean, some of these prejudices? I mean, you've been working in this space for quite a while. There aren't many, black women who have these kinds of products that are on the shelves of these so-called big companies. Do you pick that up sometimes as, as a woman within that space, a black woman in that space?
Sometimes, all of the time, Griselda. Retail in South Africa is a big boys game. Just how things are done, it makes it easier for a company that is that has 1,000 products at a time to make money. It's difficult for a small business to make money on retail floors. I must say, though, Clicks has really gone out of its way to help a lot of smaller businesses. I know quite a few small businesses they do help, like myself, where they've given us grant funding and all types of support. They really do. But in general, every day, whether I'm trying to get my products into, the Indian wholesalers, it's hard. As a black female, you can't even pick up a call and call those people because they don't speak to women. They don't speak to black women, for that matter. I get racist reaction all of the time from all retailers at all levels of South Africa. It's a daily thing.
I guess this puts a lot into context. Thank you very much indeed for your time. And Ntombendle Katwane is the owner of a natural hair care range sold at Clicks. We're speaking to her, of course, amidst this Clicks coming under fire for an advert seen as prejudiced against black hair. They've since apologized and sent out a statement, but once again they declined to come on to live air with us.